What's up, Tucson Folk Fest? Oh, this is really nice. I'm so excited to be here, guys. Let's see. Yesterday I played at 2 old folks' homes, and the day before that I played at a hot dog shop. This is nice. My name is Justin Farren. I'm from Sacramento, California. Thank you. Is that for Sacramento? Because that never happens. That's cool. Yeah. I thought I'd start off with a fun one that I wrote with the help of my daughter, Amelia, who is here in the audience tonight. She's 7 years old. She's the coolest. And she wants me to stop talking about her right now. When she was 2 years old, we were on a bicycle adventure. She had a little bike seat, like a front loader bike seat between me and the handlebars so we could talk about what we were seeing on our bicycle adventure. And we were further from home than normal. It was a long adventure. And just as we got as far away as we were going to get, Amelia decided that she didn't want to be on this bicycle adventure anymore. And she's getting a little fussy, and I had read in a parenting book that when your toddler gets fussy, you just redirect their attention or, just distract. And so that's how this song started. I was attempting to distract her, which, that doesn't work at all. And we and eventually she started kicking around, and she just flipped her head back and she said, "This is a bad day!" Well, there's no such thing as a bad day. You got berry bushes and electric blankets. All of my friends are friends of friends, but I like them fine anyway. Yeah, I know a guy with nothing to do. He takes bottles of air to the bottom of the pool with a bag of weights from his workout room. I'm telling you, it's true. He says that down there he sees God, and God sees him. It's just good to be seen. I said I saw God in a milkshake once. That dude must get around. Yeah, there's no such thing as a bad day. You gotta feed the hope and starve the sorrow. I bought a Vitamix at Costco. Now there ain't nothing I can't whip. You can call a man a fool for making plans. I say get up and get out and get on getting what you can get while you can, 'cause I know what life looks like left to circumstance. And I know the guts it took to pay your money to play your hand and say there's no such thing as a bad day. The winter's coming and the dogs all know, so don't forget to get them breakfast, or that's a wolf there on your couch. Ain't it funny how the sweetest thoughts are whispered soft, but the bullshit screams from mountaintops? I know all about collusion. I ain't talked to my mom in a month. So you can build your wall, build your bridge, a popsicle stick model of Carthage. I'm looking out for me and the penguins. I gotta smog my truck this week, 'cause I got places to be and people to be and too much to do on too little sleep. And even if I had a time machine, I wouldn't change much of anything. Maybe just to go back 30 years and plant a tree, return to the present, take off next week, and build a tree house for my kid. 'Cause I scratched a map into the sand, yeah, of every place I've been before and swore I'd never go again. And as they rinsed away, I washed my hands. Yeah, I want nothing of those second guesses coming home with me. So I left them floating aimless at the bottom of the sea. And if you see me looking back, sometimes it's just so I can laugh and sing. There's no such thing as a bad day. Thanks, y'all. Let's see. Anybody here still drive their first car? Usually there's one 17-year-old that goes, woo! Nobody? still drive my first car. It's a 1982 Toyota pickup truck. And thank you. I had bought it, I was 16 years old when I bought it. I saved up $600 working as the mascot for Papa John's Pizza. Mr. Slice was my title. And I asked my dad what kind of car I should buy, and he said, just get a Toyota. And so, and I opened the penny saver, and there was an ad for a 1982 Toyota pickup truck for $600. And I took it as a sign, and called the guy and told him I wanted to buy it, and he was like, all right. And when I bought it, I thought it had a motor in it, but it didn't have a motor in it. But my dad's a good dude. He's a real optimistic dude. He's the type of guy, he's just said, hey, let's we'll get a motor at a junkyard and we'll put it in, and it'll be good. Before your senior year, you're gonna have a car. And so that's what we did. We bought a motor at a junkyard and spent the summer. It was really sweet. You know how when you first get a car, you are pretty sure that when you turn the key, it's gonna start. And then it does. It does for a little while, And then, you have your first car fire, and but it's okay, but it's fine because you put it out, and then you just learn you're an adult now, and you just learn to be prepared. You always keep a fire extinguisher in your car, right? That's adulting, right? It's just. This is the true story of the first time that I took a girl out in that truck. I was so proud of it, probably too proud. I sing a country song about a pickup truck and about a girl that I did not deserve. Back when I'd chase off angels and trust my luck, 'cause I had no idea what either one was worth. But first you should know I was a suburban kid. Bus tables in a strip mall diner 3 nights a week. She was a wild-eyed, shaved-head punk rock chick. It was a quarter-ton truck, 2-wheel drive in Japanese. I was singing along to some radio song when I picked you up. Didn't even turn it down when you got in. It's hard not to think that you could do no wrong when you're 16, and somehow that's the way that it's always been. So you like punk rock? Well, I guess Green Day's cool. Talking at you through the window while I pump some gas. You didn't answer, but I saw you laughing in the side view. I didn't ask you what was funny, 'cause I was too busy being badass. We must have driven around that town 4 times that night, yeah. 'Cause I didn't have a plan like I never do. And I'd spent all my tip money on a new tape deck, and my last little bit of grace just to be with you. Faded yellow and born October 82, just like me. With a cracked windshield, ripped up seats, and worn out rings. She coughed smoke in the cold, but she always warmed up fine. And looking back, she was looking better than me that night. I ran a red light to show off, but you weren't the only one who saw. cop pulled me over right there on your block. He wrote me a 2-paycheck ticket, looked at you, leaned in, said, you might be wise to spend your time with someone other than him. And as he pulled off, you said you'd walk the rest of the way. For the first time that night, I had nothing cool to say. And I felt a thing I had never felt, but I've felt a lot since then. It wasn't guilt, shame, or regret, no. That was just a real life sinking in. I still drive that same old truck, the damn thing won't die. Sometimes I clean it up, take my girl out for a ride. Most times we talk, but sometimes we just look out quiet. I leave the radio off and stop at every light. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't. But if I had to, I'd play it straight. I would have told you I was sorry and made sure you got home safe. Some songs you sing to remind yourself of the people that you've been. This one goes out to a guy I never want to be again. And it could just be my pickup and it don't have a good relationship. I'm gonna unplug. I'm doing it. Let's try it out. See if we get good luck here. Okay, that sounds good. No, same problem. There's something up with the pickup in here. I'll be gentle. I can handle it. Play you guys a love song. Before I do, I want to ask if I look cool in the Jumbotron. I feel that's not a place I live. I don't live on a Jumbotron, you know what I mean? So if I got something hanging out of my face or whatever, you got to tell me. Somebody slip me a note. Don't just leave me hanging up here for 40 minutes with something hanging out of my face, all right? Cool. Oh, man. Play a love song. This is when Amelia was about 6 months old. That was the age that the grandmas were like, yeah, I'll watch her for an hour or two. Before that, you know, when they're brand new, they seem like a pretty big liability, but around 6 months old, they start to seem kind of durable, you know. And we would pack up everything that a human child could possibly need, and we would bring it over to Grandma's house, and we would set down the baby and back away slowly and get out to the car, and we'd be like, what do you want to do? I'd say, what do you want to do? And Carrie'd be like, I don't know. What do you want to do? We got like 2 hours. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Carrie would say, maybe we should go to a movie. We should go to a movie because we could watch the whole thing like adults, you know, see the whole thing. And I'd be like, yeah. I thought we could have sex, you know, but we'd always just wind up at Costco. So this is... We were trying to retrace all the steps that brought us here. Costco returning diapers on a Friday night. And you were laughing at the back of my membership card. A picture I remember taking, but I can hardly recognize. A full head of hair, not a touch of gray on it. And a smile half worn away by all the sawdust in my wallet. You said, I like you better now. All that hair just hid your face. Besides, you've always been this old, and now you just look your age. And you were colder back then, a little harder to start. The same way you grew into that nose, I guess you grew into your heart. And your face is etched with a purpose now that I don't see here in these eyes. Always a little more love and always a little less time. Well, Friday nights come on faster now, and they just seem to flicker out. But there's a handful that I hold sacred and don't talk much about, for fear of how the static of today can swallow up all that magic from before, till it's all just the sound of silence on the intercom at the grocery store. But I remember you that summer night on the roof of my brother's house, laughing and talking and making love and dreaming out loud. And that same face bent with agony by the very root of our being. I was overcome by helpless reverence as our girl burst forth from Eden. And I felt the string thread through me from my father to my child, and saw it stretch back endless through a host of spirits lined up single file. And I could hear them whispering through the ether every time I'm looking in her eyes. Always a little more love and always a little less time. I heard a voice I knew from somewhere call out across the music wing. We were both signed up for theory, but man, we just like to sing. And your heart was broken glass, and your eyes were clear. Looked just like our daughter in 20 years. I started skipping class. I'd wait for you across the hall. I remember feeling a little guilty, but just a little, and that was all. I didn't know all that we were starting. Truth is, I didn't know much, and just a lucky fool falling backward and blind into something that would always hold me up. And so I guess that's always been the story of you and I. Always a little more love and always a little less time. Thank you. What is happening with my pickup? How about these sound guys? They're doing an awesome job. They got dopes like me walking up here with faulty guitar pickups. They're doing so good. This is a beautiful night, guys. It got all mood lighty out here, all sexy. I turned 40. Yeah, thank you. Feels good. 40's all right. I think it's the age where you start, maybe for the first time in your life, looking backward. You know, like up until now, it's been, like forward, like what's next? What am I doing next? And just recently I've noticed this trend where I'm, starting to look backward and try and figure out, like what happened? You know what I mean? Where did the train go off the tracks? I think I got it figured out. It was 1993, Sister John Catherine's 6th grade class. Is where it all. You're looking at the product of 13 years of Catholic education. Anybody else Catholic school? You feel okay? You doing all right? K through 12 over here. They got me early. I didn't really know what I wanted to be. I thought it might be kind of cool back then. I thought it might be kind of cool if I could be the point guard for the Sacramento Kings, you know? Which sounds funny now, but 1993, pretty much anybody could have been the point guard for the Sacramento Kings. Just as an aside, are there any Guns N' Roses fans in the audience tonight? Oh, really? I'll be damned. You'll catch a couple references in this tune. I was never fast enough. I was kind of big around the middle. I don't think I wanted it bad enough. They sat me on the bench. I was never gonna be tall enough. I couldn't really pass or shoot or dribble. 3 seasons with no stats and no slick nickname. I took the hint and quit. I got a cheap guitar. I started writing bad songs. I sang them into my answering machine for 10 or 15 years. Tried dressing like Axl Rose, but I was kind of big around the middle. Confronted with the lumpy truth, started drinking beer. When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? When you gonna do your thing? I got a lot of folks I blame for things. Most of them are nuns. A bunch of two-tone meatballs waddling around the playground, holding them rosaries like guns. But I bet you these days we got one thing in common. It's the same loose tooth swinging from a different set of gums. Yeah. It's the kind of question that you're never really sure if you're supposed to ask the Father or the Son. When's it gonna happen? Yeah. When's it gonna happen? When you gonna do your thing? I got a lot of overhead, and I just gave up wheat bread, and I was never breastfed. Of course I don't want to join your book club, damn it. My mom hates this song. I might never be rich enough to be one of these guys who flies around in outer space, having all these ladies loving up on me in spite of my personality and my face. There's one thing I keep coming back around to, one thing that never seems to change, is that nothing lasts forever in the cold November rain. Yeah, when's it gonna happen? When you gonna let it sing? When you gonna do your thing? When you gonna do your? Thanks, y'all. I'll play you a soft one I wrote about my grandfather on my dad's side. He was a horse trainer and apparently a pretty well-renowned one. I didn't know the guy hardly at all. Not for any particular reason, just families are weird, you know? And for one reason or another, he just wasn't around. And I have one very specific, clear memory of the guy. He showed up at my parents' house when I was 4 years old. And we had never met him. And he was like, "Hey, I'm your grandpa." And he had convinced my parents that we ought to go spend a couple weeks with him down on his ranch in Southern California. It was weird. I think he knew how weird it was going to be for us because when we got down there, he had bought two Honda dirt bikes, one for me and one for my brother. Cool as hell. I was 4 years old. I didn't even ride a bicycle yet. And here I am 36 years later singing about him to you. If you guys are grandparents and you want your grandchild to one day write a song about you, man, you know what to do. Get him that dirt bike. I remember you that summer. You drove us down to Santa Barbara. I asked if we were still in America. Your giant house on 1,000,000 acres. Your pinball machine that didn't take quarters. Your two scary dogs who would eye me when I got close. And the taste of the evening air bouncing through the pasture on that little blue dirt bike. Past the fences to where I'd swear the whole world began. You taught me how to hold a cue without shaking. And then you ran the table every time without mercy. And you said, the second thing you need to learn about pool is that it's no fun to lose. And sometimes at night we'd sit and I'd watch you watch the rodeo. And I'd do my best to look like I knew what was going on and on. I know your face and a few scattered stories that my dad repeats whenever I ask about you. Some things you've seen that I can't imagine. Some things you've done that seem to border on fantasy. An awkward phone call some years around Christmas. And a glimpse of you sometimes in the mirror. A second glance whenever I pass an old guy in a motorhome. And sometimes before I go to bed, I wonder what you did today. But rather than pick up a phone, I'll just wait for the feeling to fade away. I guess I know where I get that from. But I remember you that summer. I remember you that summer. I remember you that summer. Cool, thanks. Awesome stage crew. Came up with a fancy hand sign for me to tell me 15 minutes. That was great. I'll play a song about my dog, Pickle Breath. He passed away a few months ago, guys. I know. He's such a sweetie. He was 14 and a half, and by the time he was 14 and a half, he was just the coolest. I think dogs, they just progressively get better every day, you know? Just like you would want to do yourself, but I feel like dogs really nail it. Like every day, just a little bit better. By the time he was 14 and a half, he was just like a 60-pound ball of love and light farting into the couch cushions, you know? But it didn't start out that way. I say that because when he was 1 year old, he was a complete asshole. He was a serial murderer is what he was. My neighbors behind me were growing rabbits for food, raising rabbits for food. And every once in a while, one would get under the fence. Pickle loved that. And I wrote this song because, well, when you look and you see your dog murder and ingest an innocent animal, you kind of wonder, like, are we still going to snuggle in bed tonight? You know? Well, I saw you out the window with a bunny in your mouth, shaking him around till his guts fell out. And at first I was bummed, but you looked so proud, with your tail held high, your tongue hanging out, yeah. And now people say you're crazy and I ought to put you down, that you're a danger to society I shouldn't allow. And of course I hear what they're saying, but to tell you the truth, well, sometimes I like to kill things too. I killed a bunch of tomatoes because I thought they'd look fine, mutilated to perfection on a pizza pie. Without a hint of hesitation, ripped them off of the vine. Yeah, sometimes dinner means taking some lives. That's right. And I watched my grandma cut some roses that she'd grown from seed, so that she could look on them whenever she might please, upon her kitchen table in a watery tomb. Well, sometimes grandma'd like to kill things too. I must have killed 1,000 cows just to eat on their butts. One time I was in Arkansas and I was playing some shows with a buddy of mine, and we had a night off, and his daughter was in the Girl Scouts, and the Girl Scouts were having a campfire, and the leader of the Girl Scouts invited us out to sing some songs to the girls around the campfire. So we were out of the campfire, and everything was going really sweet. And then one of the girls asked me, "Do you have any animal songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got an animal song." So stupid. I must have killed 1,000 cows just to eat on their butts. While wealthier folks take the softer cuts, we peel back their skin and make comfy shoes. Yeah, cows aren't the only ones we treat like this. I bet you sometimes cows wonder why they exist. I know, it bummed out the Girl Scouts too. Once I tried to kill a spider with a magnifying glass. But it was taking too long, so I just stepped on him. I've committed murder just to pass some time. So next time you got a critter in your killer crosshairs, and you're wondering how you'll answer to the man upstairs, know that if you're going to hell, I'll be there with you. 'Cause sometimes I like to kill things too. Yeah, sometimes I like to kill things too. I think I got time for just one more, guys. Is my guess. Where am I at? 5 minutes? I got 5. Yeah. 5:02. I got time for one more, guys. Do you want to hear the dumbest thing I've ever written? No, that doesn't. Here's what we'll do. I want you to know a couple things here. I have I drove here from Sacramento, okay? And I packed my car full of merchandise, all right? And I sold some of it along the way. I played a lot of good shows. It's been a great tour. Had a lot of fun. I got some of the stuff left, okay? My wife and daughter flew out to Tucson today to hang out. And we're there at the fest, and then we're going to road trip home. It's my daughter's spring break. How sweet is that? We're going to go to Death Valley. We're going to see the super bloom. Hell yes, right? Here's the situation, though. I need you to take some of my shirts, because I don't have room for these people in my car. Does that make sense? So shirts, and this, you're going to think I'm being weird right now, but I'm not. Shirts are free, guys. They're, after I play this last song, I want you to come over and get a shirt. I also have CDs for sale, and they're 1 for $20 or 2 for $20. 2 for $20 or 1 for $20. You get what I'm saying? Get the CDs too if you want them. But please, come and get a shirt. I can't, otherwise my daughter doesn't get a seatbelt. I got to strap her to the top. So come and get a shirt. I'm dead serious about it. I think I have all sizes in men's and women's, and I need them gone, okay? So come get a shirt. I'm going to play a song about a good friend of mine who grew up in a cult. He didn't know he was growing up in a cult. He just thought, these people seem serious. But this is a true story that he told me. He told me I was writing too many songs about myself. And I said, well, give me a good story, and I'll write about that. And so he told me this is the true story of how he learned that he needed corrective eyewear, which to you and I, we just go down to the store, get some glasses. But in the context of living in this cult, his physical health was tied directly to the strength of his faith. There you go. Peter was a good boy, heard he'd always had been. Not that there was much of a choice those days. Son of a preacher in Louisiana's last dry parish, Petey always said please, always said grace. So when the teacher called home in the middle of dinner, Mama went to sneak a pull off a cigarette. Daddy scratched a number on the back of a Sears catalog with a scowl on his face that Petey'd never forget, not yet. The next morning, Mama took him to a new kind of doctor. You could keep your clothes on, put your toes on the line, and he couldn't even make out the top row. Petey hung his head low and Mama rubbed her eyes, 'cause he felt like a fool for what he couldn't see, and Mama felt like a fool for what she hadn't seen yet. And the doctor'd seen it all 1,000 times, and he said, sure as you're born, we're gonna fix you up, no sweat. Look, my God's right on time. Surrender unto him your troubled minds. If he finds you will be true, and he will always circle back for you. So he went that way for the rest of the school year. Petey with his brand new Coke bottle eyes, now clear as day he could see them all laughing, sure as the wind blows sharp as a knife. And he started eating lunch at the last set of bleachers with the girl that he'd known from Sunday school, with a thicker pair of Coke bottle eyes of her own and a super secret sugar skull Sharpie tattoo. Whoop. They were sitting together at the Friday night meeting, and the preacher was a ball of fire that night. He was speaking in tongues, he was calling out demons, he was looking for proof and running out of time, when he spotted their 4 eyes magnified and summoned them both to the altar to kneel. Then with their knees hell-bent to the power of suggestion, pushed them to the floor and screamed, eyes be healed. He said, my God's right on time. Surrender unto him your weary eyes. If he finds your faith is true, he will mend and give them back to you. Yeah. Well, Petey never understood what his daddy'd meant when he'd said he was born to believe, till he was laying on the floor of the Roseboro Tabernacle looking at Daddy's feet. And when he stood up in front of God and everyone all wondering what they'd just seen, and he opened up his mouth before he'd known that he was gonna speak. Hallelujah. And so he went that way for the rest of the summer, Petey squinting and believing that the devil was gone. And he threw his glasses in the Wichita River, and he kissed that girl and she kept hers on. And school started in, didn't take long. Petey knew in his gut that something wasn't right. He got thinking maybe faith is a measure of how well you know something's wrong and keep it inside. Till the teacher called home in the middle of dinner. Mama went to sneak a pull off a cigarette, and Daddy went for his belt to teach Pete the kind of lesson that you might live down but you never forget. Well, Petey kicked out his chair, stood up at the table, knowing that he'd already gone too far. He said, some things I don't have to squint to see, and I'm starting to think I know who you are. He said, my God's right on time. He knows who I am, and he don't mind. So go on, do what you're gonna do. Yeah. We both hear the same bell tolling. The apple fell and now it's a-rolling. My God makes the way and he sees me through. Thanks so much, y'all. Have a great night, Tucson Folk Fest. You've been wonderful.
How about another hand for Justin Farren? All right, he knocked him dead, man.